Science Brainiacs.
Hi, in this video we are going to solve a few simultaneous equations. Let's get started. Simultaneous equations involve having two equations with two unknowns each. The unknowns can be either x and y, as shown here below, or any other algebraic letters. Let's see a quick example of how simultaneous equations can be used in our everyday lives. Greta went to a takeaway shop and ordered 2 burgers and 1 fries. For this, she paid €10. Now, let us represent the cost of 1 burger with x and the cost of 1 fries with y. This gives us the equation 2x plus y equals 10. Can we guess the price of the burgers and the fries? Each burger could cost €4 and each set of fries €2. But it can also be that each burger costs $4.50 and each set of fries €1. Or it can also be that each burger costs €5 and the fries are free of charge. Which is the right answer? All of these fit, and in fact there are infinite solutions to this problem. The thing is that we have one equation with two unknowns, and like this we are not able to solve it without having additional information. Then Bob comes along. Bob was famished, so he ordered 3 burgers and 2 sets of fries from the same shop. For this, he paid €16. Let us replace the burgers with x and the fries with y to get another algebraic equation like so. Now, if we combine both pieces of information together, we can find the cost of 1 burger and 1 set of fries. When we combine multiple equations together in order to be able to find unknown values, we say that we are solving simultaneous equations. In this case, we have 2 equations with 2 unknowns. Let's start solving the simultaneous equation by elimination. So to do that, we need to eliminate one of the unknowns. So we'll either eliminate the x or the y. Now in this case, it is much simpler to eliminate the y first. You'll see why later on. So in order to eliminate one of the unknowns, what I will try to do is get them to be the same. So in this case, I have 2y and I have y. So in order to get the first equation, to get this over here, 2y, I will multiply it by 2. So I will modify the first equation in order to get that 2y over there. So when I multiply it by 2, I get 4x plus 2y equals 20. And the second equation, I will just copy it as it is. So I have 3x plus 2y equals 16. Once I have that, I can simply subtract the 2 equations. And look what's going to happen. So 4x minus 3x is x. 2y minus 2y is 0. So they cancel each other out. Equals 20 minus 16 is 4. So like that, we found x, which is 4. Once I have found one of the variables, in this case I have found x, it was my choice to first find x, I can then substitute x equals 4 into one of the equations above. I can choose whichever equation I want to, and in this case I'm going to choose the first equation. So I have 2. Instead of x, I will put 4. Plus y equals 10. 4 times 2 is 8, plus y equals 10. I take 8 to the other side, y equals 10 minus 8, so y equals 2. And like that, I have found both x and y, and I have solved the simultaneous equation. Let's move on to another problem. Now we have another problem, let's work it out. So in this case, I am also going to eliminate one of the variables. This time I'm going to choose to eliminate the x. Why? Because I can simply multiply equation number 2 by 3, and that will give me 9x over here, which is what I want. Because like that I will have 9x and 9x, which will cancel each other out. Changing 5y and 2y, both of them to 10y, for them to cancel out, requires more effort, because then I would need to multiply both equations to do that. In this case, I can simply modify one of the equation to achieve the same result. So let's get started. I'm going to write down this equation as it is. 9x plus 5y equals 15. The second one, I'm going to multiply it by 3. So I'm going to get 9x minus 6y equals minus 18. And that is the modified equation 2. I will then move on to subtracting both equations again. So I have 9x minus 9x, which will cancel out, 5y minus 6y, minus and minus become plus, so I have 5y plus 6y, which is 11y, equals 15 minus and minus, again become plus, so 15 plus 18 is 33. So now I can simply take 11 to the other side. From multiplication becomes division, so I have y equals 33 divided by 11, so y equals 3. And like this, I have eliminated the x in order to find y. Now I will proceed to substitute y into one of the equations. In this case, I will substitute it in the first equation again and find x. So I have 9x plus 5. Instead of y, I'm going to write number 3, because y is 3, equals 15. 5 times 3 is 15, so I have 9x plus 15 equals 15. I take 15 to the other side, from plus it becomes minus, so 9x equals 15 minus 15. 15 minus 15 is 0. So if 9x equals 0, then that means that x is 0 as well. Because 9 times 0 is 0. So like this I have found both x and y and x, and solved the simultaneous equation. In this problem, we can choose to eliminate either the x or the y. This is because there is no easy way of working it out, solving it just by multiplying one of the equations. In fact, in this case, as you're going to see, I have to multiply both equations to find what we call the lowest common multiple. So let's take a look at x. Here I have 2x and 5x. Their lowest common multiple is 10x. So in order to get 10x at the top, I would need to multiply equation 1 by 5. And to get 10x at the bottom, I need to multiply the second equation by 2. I can do that and work it out. Or else another option would be to eliminate the y. So I have 6y and 4y. The lowest common multiple here is 12. So I have to multiply the first equation by 2 to get 12y, and the second equation by 3 to get 12y again. Now I'm going to go with eliminating y, because I would like to show you something different in this equation. So I'll go ahead and multiply the first equation by 2 and the second equation by 3. So 2x times 2 is 4x minus 6y times 2 is minus 12y, and minus 6 times 2 is minus 12. For the second one, I will multiply by 3, so I have 15x minus 12y equals minus 15 times 3, which is minus 45. Have a mistake over here, it should be plus 12y. Now, I need to choose whether to add or subtract both equations. Now, in this case, it makes more sense to add the equations rather than subtract them, because over here I have minus 12y and plus 12y. And the only way of cancelling y would be to adding both equations. So I have 4x plus 15x, which is 19x, minus 12y plus 12y, cancel out, equals minus 12 plus minus 45, so minus 12 minus 45 is minus 57. Now I can go ahead and find x. So x is 57 minus 57 divided by 19, so x would be minus 3. And like this, I have found x. Once I have found x, I can go ahead and substitute to find y. So, I'm going to substitute again in equation 1. You can go ahead and substitute in equation 2 if you feel like. You can either substitute in the original equations themselves or the modified ones. It wouldn't make any difference at all. So let's go with equation 1. I have 2 open brackets. Instead of x, I will put minus 3. Minus 6y equals minus 6. Minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. Minus 6y equals minus 6. So, minus 6y equals minus 6 becomes plus 6. So, minus 6 plus 6, which gives us 0. So, minus 6y equals 0. So, y has to be 0. Because minus 6 times 0 makes 0. So like this, I have found both x and y and therefore solved the simultaneous equation. For the final and most difficult simultaneous equation in this video, I have chosen one where the variables are slightly jumbled up. Here we have a number, we have x, and we have y on the other side. So before even attempting to solve the simultaneous equation, I need to modify equation number 1 in a way that I know how to work it out. To do that, I will take the 9 to the other side and the y to the other side as well. So let's start working it out. I have x minus y equals minus 9. And that is the modified equation number 1. Like this, it makes more sense and it is easier to work with. And equation 2, I just copy it ahead. So x plus 2y equals 12. Now, some of you might go ahead and multiply equation number 1 by 2 and eliminate y. Now, in this case, it's not really necessary, because over here we have x and x, which can easily cancel each other out without having to modify any equations that we have. So I'll go ahead and subtract. X minus x, cancel out. Minus y minus 2y gives us minus 3y. Equals minus 9 minus 12 is minus 21. Now, over here I can go ahead and eliminate the minus on both sides. I take the 3 to the other side. From times becomes division, so 21 division by 3 so y equals 7. And like this, I have found y. Once I have found y, I can go ahead and find x. I will substitute y equals 7 into any of the equations. I'm going to substitute it in equation number 2. So I have x plus 2. Instead of y, I will put 7 equals 12. X plus 7 times 2 is 14 equals 12. Plus 14, I take it to the other side. So x equals 12 becomes minus 14. So x equals minus 2. And like that, I have found both x and y and solved the simultaneous equation. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to stay tuned for more content coming your way.
Science Brainiacs.